Well, all right, y'all. All across the USC, Compton, Watts, Bay to LA, Pomona, California, from valley to valley, we represent that killer Cali. So if you keeping it real on your side of your town, you tune in to Gangster Chronicles.
Gangster Chronicles, we gon' tell you how it goes.
If I lie, my nose will grow like Pinocchio. We gon' tell you the truth and nothing but the truth.
Gangster Chronicles, this is not your average show.
You're now tuned into the real MC8, Big James, and Big Steel.
This is strictly from the streets.
Hello.
We represent the James.
And so, Glasses, I'm gonna start right off the rip, man. Whether it's on Instagram, Clubhouse.
You know what? We're not even gonna do that. We're gonna do something better. Did you think you would make it to 100 episodes when you first came up with this?
Man, I didn't know.
You don't remember when we was at talking about this?
Yeah, I remember we was talking about. I remember we was first talking about it. I knew it was gonna be some cold shit though.
Do you remember the inspiration of why you started doing this?
Yes, I do.
You start trying to live vicariously through your son, and I was like, you got so much to offer the world, you shouldn't stop.
Yeah, you did tell me that. You told me that.
You looked at me crazy. You was like, gee, I can't do nothing. I'm like, you got a lot to offer the world.
Yes, you hear that?
And you just tried to back down. The next thing you know, now you got a pod. You on 100 episodes, big podcast.
You were trying to play football again?
No, hell no.
You trying to live through Chris?
What's cold is
ball on.
No, hell no. I was doing the same shit you doing now.
Oh, coach. He was coach.
I was coaching.
Going to the little league games with the football uniform on still and shit. They like, this nigga 13 and shit still. With
it wasn't no shit like that. But I had a lot of shit going on with my son. I was coaching football and everything like that.
He would only coach his son's team. I hate them kind of dads.
Well, who the fuck else was I gonna coach? Glasses?
Was he a daddy baller?
His son was coach. I can't.
I wasn't a daddy baller.
His son was
I didn't
good.
even coach my son. I coached offensive line. No, I coached offensive line.
Chris didn't play all the good positions.
No,
every one of them.
He was the best player on the field, though.
Yeah, he was. He was.
I didn't coach him though, but
he never coached no other team. He like Snoop. He retired when his son retired.
That was it.
No, I actually coached 2 years after that. I actually won 2 Super Bowls after that. After he left.
Who did you coach for?
I coached for Paramount. I was the president of Paramount's organization. I coached Paramount. What happened was, I actually coached 2 years after Chris left because I coached all my kids up. Because you got to remember, I had all of them since they was 8 years old.
Right.
So I coached them all from 8 to 14.
Gotcha. Who was the player you thought at one time, like besides Chris, that you knew like this guy is special?
Oh, Kobe Pepe, the defensive lineman up at USC right now. His dad brought him in from the Long Beach Patriots, right? He got cut from there. They told him he wasn't no good, and so I brought him out there and I said, man, this dude could actually be a really good defensive lineman, but his dad wanted to play linebacker and tight end. You know, the dads come in with all these expectations.
The glory positions.
Yeah, so he was so much bigger and faster than everybody. Let him play linebacker. Now he at USC. He actually got a lot of time as a freshman. We actually had 13 kids from that team. My team that year is playing college football right now.
What was the saddest case that happened? Like out of all the kids that you felt like it was one kid could have been special, but like the streets kind of start doing a number on him?
Well, I had a kid, I had a couple of them. I had one kid that came in, he was from Compton. I heard maybe a year and a half ago he got shot and killed. He started gangbanging, started claiming a neighborhood over there. And the dad had me talk to him a couple of times. He wound up getting killed. I had another kid. I don't really want to put his name out there like that, but I had another. Yeah, we used to call him Black Jesus. Remember the one kid I had?
I remember.
That was from Watts. I had to actually go to Watts to the projects to get this kid. We walk up in there. I'm walking in the projects, man, like 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah, I know you was shitting.
And I don't know what his mama was doing there, but his mama ran shit in them projects though. And I went up there and they was like, what the hell you want, homie? Who you up here looking for? And I was like, I'm looking for people. They was like, John, it's a coach here looking for you. You know what I'm saying? So he came out and she said, well, only way you can get him is you come and pick him up every day. So we had somebody come pick him up every day for practice. He wound up staying over my house a lot with me. I had kids at one time living in my house, G.
You all right still, man. Every time you always surprise me with something new.
So it wasn't just about Chris. Chris happened to be a product of it because I didn't actually want to coach his first year. I got asked to coach the first year he did because they didn't know what the hell they was doing.
That happened to me
I wanted
too.
to just watch. I really wanted to be a daddy baller and just watch my son play in this, but they needed help. And that went from me doing that to seeing some shit that was wrong with the organization.
Now, being one of them just being on the coach. Nah, you was cussing the coach out.
I never had to cuss the coach out. Never. I'll be honest with you, man. My son, I never had to talk to no coaches about him. I just let him go play.
Right.
And let him do his thing.
So you're not like LeVar?
No, hell no, not like that. I ain't no LeVar Ball. See, this is Cole right here. It flipped around. Glass is interviewing us now.
No, I'm not interviewing. I'm just talking to y'all.
Well, he heisted your show, and now it's our show.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's how it goes now.
I'm just talking to y'all.
I'm all with that. This is something different.
No, I'm just talking. I'm just asking.
He don't like that shit.
Yeah.
You see him, he like,
Well,
man, the nigga interviewing us now.
Well,
shit.
no, it's all good.
He put him in the other position. He ain't
no,
feeling right.
No, it's all good. But I think the biggest thing, man, I fell in love with the kids.
That's cool.
Because you figure when I had them little dudes, they was all 8 years old. I had a kid named Jerry that was too big to play on the upper level. He actually quit the first year. He got hit one time and said, I'm out of here.
I know. I done had a few of
He
those.
got his spirit pack and was gone.
You in the
That
sports?
nigga said he got his spirit pack. It was gone.
It
He got his little t-shirt and shorts and was
You
like,
ever-
cool.
You ever been in the sports, James?
No.
That's
all the fuck I'm gonna say. No.
My nigga said them streets was my
That's
sports.
it.
Goddamn
Hey, no,
it.
but-
You was the MVP in them
I
streets.
watched my
OG.
nephew play, and he got hit, and the ambulance came. Motherfucker, get your ass up. And he let the ambulance take him away. I never went to another game he played. You clown.
James said,
How come you get took out of the ambulance?
Let the ambulance.
See, James is one of them fucked up ass uncles in the game. You
don't
get
make me
hit,
fucked
kick
up.
your bitch ass up. Kick your bitch ass up.
I ain't calling
He got a broke collarbone and shit.
Hey,
Better
stand up. Walk that shit off.
Bro, that motherfucker, they took him to the hospital.
In the stands.
By the time we left the stands and got
This
to the
nigga
hospital, that
stand-
motherfucker was standing in the hallway ready to go. Ain't nothing wrong with this motherfucker.
His whole fever broke.
Yeah.
James like, walk it off.
Oh no,
My
but he
nigga said
became
like
hard.
his
He
spirit was
in,
broke. James sitting in the stands and
I
said,
can't do that.
He was like, hold up.
What high school did you go
He
to,
looking
OG?
out the gate
Huh?
and shit.
What high
He
school
see
did you go
the
to?
What high
ambulance
school I
coming
went
and
to,
shit. He
yeah.
said, this
What
motherfucker
high
got
school
the
I did go
ambulance
to?
coming to get him.
I went to Dominguez. Got kicked out of Dominguez the first day I went to the motherfucker.
How the fuck you kicked out the first day?
I was getting checked in and I was fighting outside where I was getting checked in. And they said, we don't
They
want him
like,
here.
they
Then I
exit
went to
right now.
Centennial.
They just turn right on around.
So,
They get your
when
little
they gave
books
me
and
the
shit
little
and get on
slip,
home.
For my classes, I was like, oh no, fuck this. So I just went to school for lunch.
It's not funny.
No, serious. I went.
Even
just
at the
for-
10?
Just for activities. I just went for lunchtime. And that's where all the fighting started. So I just went to school for lunch. There wasn't nothing else to go for.
So you just went to school for the fights?
Just to go for the fights.
I didn't know.
But
if it
who
for
was
the fight
fighting
or
at the
music.
10?
Gangbangers.
With each other? At the 10?
Said gang
That's
bangers.
Centennial?
See, I think this is the problem. I think,
Hell yeah,
like,
gang bangers.
no, when you think about it, I think, because when you grow up like right in your crib, you always think of the Bloods as like a bunch of people that's cool together.
Oh,
So when you
definitely.
saying at the
Yeah,
10,
yeah.
you like, it's the same thing.
Yeah, we did.
When
think
I was
that,
going
though,
to school,
as
man.
young
Yeah.
Crips, we didn't
Like,
think
they're all
that
together.
y'all got into it
At
as
all.
much
Oh,
as we did.
I had a purpose when I was gangbanging. My purpose was to fight and fuck with niggas that wasn't on my side. And
That's
that
a
was
fair
just the point.
purpose, I guess, for
That's
that
fair.
particular
You know what I'm
venture.
saying?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, a lot of people don't look at gangbanging like they used to look at gangbanging. But back then, it meant something to me and some of the other cats from where you from. I had pride in where I was from. And to be a gang member, these cats don't understand what a gang member is. I was active, so I believed in getting at the other side, or the other side getting at me. You can't go home crying because you got your ass whooped by the Crips. Just like some niggas can't cry because they got their ass whooped by Bloods.
Exactly.
So it was just part of the game. But when I was in the game, I believed in that. I believed in what I was. I believed in what I was doing. If you fold today, you're going to fold tomorrow. And that wasn't happening.
When do you first time you remember like Pyrus being against Pyrus? Like when do you actually remember that happening?
This is a history everybody can say if you've been in the hood a long time. Motherfuckers been against each other from the beginning of time. It just ain't exposed like it is today. You know what I'm saying? You always had motherfuckers that fought each other, but like with Pyrus and Compton, you really didn't get that
I've never
because
seen that until recently.
we was already outnumbered. You know what I'm saying? Whether you went to jail, whether you went to prison. The homies I didn't listen to is the ones that told me when you go to prison, when you hit whoop to whoop, sock the guard, hit somebody. There's too many Crips on Chino West. They gonna kill you.
Like,
Ain't that the purpose of being with y'all? Fuck folding up. You know what I'm saying? So I've learned we was always outnumbered. But you are who you are if you stand up to that. Yeah. And I was taught to be tough. I didn't have a choice. So if you gonna whoop my ass, you gonna whoop my ass. I had
a saying, like real bloods is like the Marines. You was like the smallest, but you got to be the most active.
You had to be.
My brother is from Poole. Is from Fruittown, Bremen. He was always, anywhere we would go, we would always get into it. And I could imagine he always had to be overactive because everywhere he went, it was just Crips everywhere.
Yeah.
So you had to be a cold nigga to be a real
that's
blood,
the life.
dog.
You have to. So, I mean, just living that life and being, you have to. I done seen a lot of cats fall. Just on where you from, homie. Oh, I ain't from nowhere. I'm from Mississippi. Wow. Motherfucker, you live over here. You know what I'm saying? So, but you get it on both sides.
Nigga didn't say
I don't give a fuck what hood you from. I don't give a fuck what hood.
He didn't say I'm from Cerritos. He said I'm from Mississippi.
Everywhere you go, everybody that gangbang ain't built for.
No.
Ain't built for that type
Definitely
of shit.
Not built for the infantry part of it.
No, they not built for that type of shit.
I always felt like, I would argue with my older homies, I felt like one of the mistakes was trying to turn everybody into the infantry. Like it seemed like it could have more arms and more, like certain homies I thought we should have put them through college. Certain homies I thought we should have made them police. I was thinking just differently, and them niggas would look at me like I done lost my mind, but I felt like it was a confusion that if everybody was infantry, they didn't belong, and I thought that was one of the biggest mistakes. Well, I thought you could make some people to make money. It was certain homies I grew up with, like it didn't matter how much you would be willing to participate and do what you got to do. There's certain people where I'm from, they love that. The infantry part of it is everything. They looking at the guns, staring at them. One of my homies know how to break down guns and clean them. That was his thing.
He'd be the first one to get killed up.
For sure. It could happen.
That's why we created, when I was doing it, we had Buster Week. And that's to eliminate the guys that just in the hood, living off of the big homie or this dude or that dude.
Or just the reputation of the neighborhood.
You can't wear a certain color and then go somewhere else and take it off. So that's what Buster Week was. We know you ain't with it. So that saved a lot of cats in the neighborhood life. Because once you get punked in front of your girl, what happens? You don't want to do this shit no more. Yeah. Once you get beat up, you don't want to do this shit no more.
James, what would y'all do on Buster Week?
Exactly. That sounds crazy.
We had a crew of 5. Me, Big Al, Lil G.
That's like
Danny.
The SEALs.
Yeah, and what we do is walk through the hood. It might be Friday or Saturday, and we might see the homie over there standing over there selling his little rocks or whatever. You got him, Big Al, or you want me to check him? No, get him. Let Zeke get him. And Zeke would go over there, nigga, you a bitch, nigga, and woo-woo. Start whooping his ass. If nigga getting the best of Zeke, we jump in and beat the shit out of him. Get the fuck out the hood.
So a nigga wasn't gonna win no way then?
No, you lost already.
Had y'all already declared that
how did you come up? Yeah, how did you like that's like Schindler's List.
We all sitting at the house, at my house, and I just said one day, man, you see how Big Al acting? That nigga's a bitch. The other homie say, let's go whoop his ass. And that's how it started.
That's a dictatorship.
Well, let me ask you this.
Expose himself in the situation.
Let me ask you this scenario. Let's say y'all would have went over there to Big Al, and the first one that ran up on him got knocked out, and he was just serving niggas. Would y'all have gave him some respect and gave him a pass, or would he have been done?
He just said they all went over there and knocked his head off.
That's what I'm saying. So he didn't get no love at all.
No.
We had already declared that he needs
They already decided before they went over there.
You can't win with no shit like that.
The majority of everything they called themselves Killer Rob or Killer Duba or whatever, and I shouldn't have said them names, but fuck it. You ain't never killed shit a day in your life. Stop acting like that. And, you know, just say, for instance, my brother-in-law.
My nigga James don't give a fuck.
No,
you understand me?
That's why I told you to get this nigga on the podcast.
Motherfuckers come to the
first day.
And motherfuckers act like they this and that. Okay, we're going to put you to the test on that, just like going to jail. If you ever been in the module, in the blood module or whatever, you got tested. You going to have some type of activity. You know what I'm saying? If you can't handle it, you got to get the fuck out of here. Or you're going to be sitting in the cell, ain't ate in 3 days, because they're going to make you stay in the cell after your swelling go down.
So nobody gets you.
Yeah, so it's just certain things you had to do. If you wasn't with it, you wasn't with it.
So now certain cats, they got to wait until they punkin' head go down and all that shit in the infirmary.
So back to the list. What if somebody just didn't like that person and put that person on? He can't just be a mark. Like, what he have to do some mark activities or something? Or you just didn't like him?
We looked at motherfuckers that just sold dope in the hood and didn't do shit. We looked at motherfuckers that when we was fighting, where the fuck this motherfucker go when the dust cleared? Oh, you fucked up. So that week, we got that ass. So we had a crew of if everybody kicking it, we know everybody is with it. If we get into it at the parade, we know ain't nobody running. You know what I'm saying? The weenie niggas didn't hang out with us because they knew if James got drunk, he finna trip on somebody. You know what I'm saying? And everybody in Compton know if that motherfucker start drinking, get the fuck on.
Yeah, that's
you know
everybody
what I'm saying?
Know that too.
Yeah, so that's how it was. And I didn't need the big L's and everybody else to come because I felt a certain kind of way. Like the first time I got shot, I didn't see nothing but backs. I didn't see motherfuckers trying to pick me the fuck up and come on, homie, you know,
I just left with that.
Trying to carry me.
I just saw asses and elbows.
That's it.
Gone.
So, and this was 1980.
So this is kind of what changed your
Now
whole
I'm in
mindset.
that age, and I'm disrespecting. I try my best to be disrespectful to people. I have to be disrespectful because you left me for dead.
Has anybody you ever met, like from around your way when you was in that time, somebody you thought was a sucker and then they end up being something special?
Oh yeah, a whole bunch of them. A whole bunch of them. It's a lot of cats that's just quiet, and you know they just in the hood like Hen Dog. Rest in peace. You know he was real quiet, but he had that Chicago mentality. He didn't talk, and when it was time for business, he just handled business. And when I first seen this get down, I was like, God damn, I moved a nigga in our house. You living with us, my nigga.
Where you with us?
Yeah, so
That's
I mean,
cold.
it all
Rest in
depends
peace,
on
dog.
the people and the homies that you fuck with. You know what I'm saying? And then at the end of the day, some of them are more dangerous than anything. You know what I'm saying? Like what we had on death row. You know, you had nothing but pet bulls, nothing but killers on the team. So at the end of the day, when it's time to eat, that motherfucker gonna do what he got to do to eat. You know what I'm saying? And then we wind up killing each other. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happens when you get people like that in the same circle. You know what I'm saying? But we used to didn't do that.
Well, y'all grew up with each other. It was a different love.
We grew up with each other. Motherfuckers used to sleep at my house 7 days a week. And at the end of the day, the same motherfucker that shit showered and shaved at my house pulled the trigger on my brother.
That's crazy.
Not shot him one time, but 7, 10 times. Come on, man. If I shot you more than 3 times, I must have hated
problem.
your punk ass. If I shot you that many times, it was just I'm on some fucking. You feel me? And these guys live with us.